Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. So today we are going to do Leetcode daily challenge, vertical order traversal of a binary tree. So this is the most colorful thing I did today. Okay, now let us first go to the question and then we'll go ahead with the explanation. So here's the question. Okay, so let me hide this edition first. Then we'll go ahead. Yeah. So basically, let us first read this question. So in this question, we are given the root of a binary tree, calculate the vertical order traversal of a binary tree. So first thing comes up that what is vertical order traversal? We all know about the level order traversal. That simply means level by level we are required to go ahead. But the vertical order traversal is basically that there would be vertical lines, and according to these vertical lines only, we are required to come with our output. So that's the thing which we are required to do in this particular question. But there are some more, what you can say, like conditions which we are required to fulfill, and then only we are required to go ahead with our vertical order traversal. So here for each node, now these conditions are there that being given in question. So for each node at position row column, you can simply you can check out like this particular means a tree which is being given to us. You can simply figure out like as if it is a matrix that you can check. So like that only for each node at position row column, its left and right children will be at position row plus 1 column minus 1. This is for the left side. Means it will be at the next row, but it would be means if we see it as a number line, then at this particular moment of point means over the left hand side there would be column minus 1 and at 0, and then here there would be column plus 1. So that's the thing which they have written, that row plus 1 column minus 1 and then row plus 1 column plus 1. So these are basically for the left and the right nodes respectively, and the root of the tree is basically at 0, 0. So basically they are telling you about number line sort of thing, because they want to convey you that how vertical order traversal is like. I'll show you the diagram also with the explanation, then you will get to know more, but this is brief about the thing. So vertical order traversal of a binary tree is a list of top to bottom ordering for each column, index starting from the leftmost column ending on the rightmost column. So what we are required to do is we need to start from the topmost row, right? And in that topmost row we'll check that what is at the leftmost side, and then we'll go to the middle and then we'll go to the right. And that is what we are required to do in this vertical level order traversal. Not the level order, just vertical order traversal. So there may be multiple nodes in the same row and same column. So that's the thing which I was telling you, that left, then middle and the right, because there could be a lot of nodes there. But we are required to sort according to the topmost, and then in the topmost also what are the next nodes which are being there. And then there is one more point which is being given to us, that there may be multiple nodes in the same row, okay, in the same row and same column also. In such a case, sort these nodes by value. So this is also one of the points which is being given to us. So the thing is that we are required to sort them. First thing is that we are given here, right? And this is first row. So in this first row we are having just this one, right? But this particular is in the same vertical height as well, right? So first this node would be there, then this node is required to be done. But before going ahead with this particular vertical, we are required to go ahead with this particular vertical. So our answer would be having this particular vertical first, because we are going ahead with vertical order traversal, right? So that's why this first column would be counted, then this column would be counted, then comes the part for this column which would be counted, and then comes the part for this column. So first priority is given to the columns, then second priority is given to the rows, that according to rows which one is at the highermost level, that would be as our answer, and then priority is given on the basis of that how many nodes are being there in that particular row and column. So in that it will be sorted according to the value. So this is the three conditions which we are required to do in this particular question. So this was little much explanation, and let us go ahead for the time constraints which are being given to us. And yeah, here you can see that full-fledged example, and here also what they exactly wanted to say about the multiple repetitions. But before that, let us go ahead with the. So constraints are basically 1 to 1000. That simply refers to that it can go up to nlogn solution, and even the values of the node, because we don't need to multiply it or add them up. So that's why the value of each node doesn't matter much to us, but it matters us in that condition that we are required to sort them, right? So that's the criteria here. Now let me show you about this particular. So here you can see that we are having this okay, so here you can see that here we are having this particular vertical, then this particular vertical is there, then these both of them which are being there, they are at same level only, means because you can see it is also 0, it is also 0, and it is also 0, so they are at same vertical. That's the thing. And this is another vertical and this is another vertical. So in this particular scenario, how our answer is like 4 is first, we are checking with first column, then second column, and then in the third column, here you can see that first the answer would be 1, means whosoever is at the row, that would be our first answer. But now comes the part when at the column level, we are at the same column, right? But we are having multiple values. Like here you can see that there is 5 and 6. So in that criteria, our answer would be, here it is written as 1, 5 and 6. So that's the thing it wanted to explain us. And then this column would be there and then this column would be there. So this is the thing which we are required to do in this particular question. So this was whole explanation part. Let me show you some more explanation about the same so that you could come up with the solution by your own. So now here this is the first example itself, right? Now you got to know that how it is similar, means how we are required to do. If you define it as a matrix itself, right? You don't need to go ahead with the matrix, but the thing is just think like as if it is a matrix only, and here it is a number line. So we are first required to return with -1, then 0, then 1, and then 2. And then in that also, if there are multiple nodes, then on that node level, first with the row, then with the other row. And then even if in that particular rows, if there are multiple nodes, then in that particular scenario, we are required to check with the number of values which are being there. So that's the thing. So the first thing which comes up is we are required with some DSA in which we can store width, height, and value. Because you know that we are required to check for all three things, right? First, we will be sorting according to the width, that whichever width means whichever column is at the first, that we will be considering. Then we are required to sort according to the height, that is whichever row is at the topmost, that value will be returned in that particular same vertical. And then if in that same vertical only, if at some row level we are having multiple values, then in that criteria we are required to sort according to the value, that which one is the lowermost value, that we will be returning at the first. So in all these contexts, you can also clearly see, one minute, this I can't write. So here, so in all these contexts, first we are required to sort all nodes at each level, right? And give the final answer as per the lowest width, that is column to highest column. So this is the thing which we will be doing here. So in all these contexts, we are required to have some sort of data structure in which we can do sorting easily. First according to column, then according to row, and then according to value. So we are required with a 3-dimensional data structure. And the data structure in which sorting is by its own, then that we can easily choose with a map or a set, right? So here and even one more thing is that there could be duplicate values as well. So that's why so for duplicate value only, that would be at the value level. Means columns would be unique, height would be also unique, right? Columns, rows, both would be unique, but the duplications could be at the value level. So at that context, we would be required with a multi-set. So this is the choice of the data structure which we are required to choose. So the thing would be that first we will be choosing with a map, and inside we will be choosing a multi-set, and that multi-set we would be having a pair, and in that pair we will be first having with our height, and then we will be having with our value. So that according to these things only, these levels only, we are able to sort them. And like this only, we will be going ahead with our DFS or DFS approach. But in this video, I'll let you know about the DFS approach of this question. You could figure out with your BFS approach by your own. But the time complexity and the space complexity for both of them will remain the same. That is, here you can see, the time complexity would be nlogn. It is all because of the fact, because we are sorting due to multi-set and the map which we will be using, so that takes logn time, and the arranging them in the further would be taking us n time. And the space complexity would be that maximum n elements could be there in a multi-set and map, so that's why the space complexity is order of n. So this was all about this particular question. Now let us go through the code walkthrough of this question. So yeah, coding part. So here's the code. Yeah. Okay, it is pretty much less visible. Let us increase the font size. So here, now it is pretty much clearly visible. So in this is the first thing which is being given to us. We are required to return with vector of vector n, basically a 2D vector or 2D array we are required to return. So first, I have taken as the private global variables this which will be our answer, and I have taken this map whose first would be as int and the second would be a multi-set in which I am taking a pair. So these will simply represent my width, then height, and then my value. So these are the three things which we will be having in this. And now comes the part. First we will be clearing our map. So it would be, even if we don't clear, but the thing is it is better to clear for any sort of garbage value if it is there, because it is a private variable. Means it is a global variable, that's why. If it would have been a static one, so then surely it would have been 0, but as it is not, so it might have some garbage value. Then we are calling our solve function. In this solve function, we are passing with our root and then row and then column, because this is the things which we are being given. We will be tracking, and according to our root only we will be getting our value. So the first thing is this, we are doing pre-order traversal, that is we are first processing with the root. So what we are checking, that first we are checking with the base case that if root doesn't exist, right, then we will be directly returning at that moment of point, else we will be having our map, we will according to the column, we will be inserting our row and root value. So that's the thing which we will be moving ahead with. So here basically we'll store width, and corresponding to that width, our height and value would be stored, and then we will be calling a leftmost function and rightmost function. So for a leftmost function, we know that it is already mentioned in the question. So it is already mentioned in the question, right, that for the leftmost we are having column -1, and for the rightmost we are having column +1, right? So that's why we are taking the row +1 as it is, the way they are taking, and for the column we are taking column -1 for leftmost and column +1 for the rightmost. So this is how we are going ahead and doing the DFS for this question. And now after this particular map is completely filled, and after it gets to this particular condition, then we will be traversing in our map. So basically in this map, how the things would be ongoing. So in the map we were knowing that we are storing column, and corresponding to that we are having height and width, height and value, right? So first, now we have taken x. So this x simply represents for the first column. Now we will be having initializing this vector v at each moment of time when we start with the first column or any other column. Then we will be checked for auto z. That simply means that from this x, right? So we are taking any element, so its first would be having column, but its second is having our height and value, right? So then for x dot second, that simply represents that in this x we are taking these two. That's the thing, right? But in this x dot second also we are having two values, that is height and value, right? So we are required to go ahead with the value which we are required to push in our vector so that we could push in our answer, because we are required to return the int value, right? And as it is a map and then it is a multi-set, right? So that's why it will be automatically sorted according to the first column, first row and the ascending order of value. So that's why we don't need to take care of that it is sorted or not. We just required to push into the map, and then we are just required to traverse that map, and then we are required to put into our answer. So that's the thing. So that's why choosing a effective data structure plays a major role. And even the thing is, like, we are also required to come up with the algorithm, else we won't be able to use a data structure effectively. So this was all for this particular question. I hope you like the explanation. If you like it, then please do like it, subscribe to my channel, and also do share among your friends so that they could also get the knowledge for the same. So this was all. Thank you.